Hi friends, if somebody tells you cat is easy, you would say that the person is either joking or is bluffing or is being dishonest. No, that's not really true. Cat is actually easy. It doesn't mean it's effortless. It doesn't mean that it does not require hard work. It doesn't mean that you not have to put in your efforts for that. No, all that is needed. CAT is easy because CAT is an exam that just tests you on three subjects. You know the three subjects: Quant, LRDI, and VARC. CAT is an exam which is very structured, now at least. There are three sections, 40 minutes each. Even the number of questions is almost fixed. It's 20 to 25 questions in each section. Right. So that's the part that makes CAT easy, manageable, right? But since it's easy for everyone, isn't it? A paper being easy or difficult does not make your task easier of getting into a top B school. If the paper is easy, it's easy for everyone. So when I say CAT is easy, the challenge still remains. That's to do better than others in the exam. Now, looking at the good part, when you know that it's three sections, and if you look at the syllabus of English and Quant and LRDI, you'll realize that many of these things you've done in school already, isn't it? If you look at the Quant syllabus, for example, the kind of topics you do, arithmetic is like around 40% of it. You've done all this in school. Now it would be the application of these same things. So it's that you have to work a little higher on those skills, but it does not test you on any calculus or any differential equations or three-dimensional coordinate geometry, does it? No. So that's the reason I'll call it easy. No, when you're preparing for these exams, mindset is very important. So if you tell yourself at this stage that these things are manageable, that I can do these things because there's still a lot of time left, then it would become easier for you. I'm not saying you'll not need to put in effort. No, you'll have to work really hard. You have to be disciplined. You have to be motivated for all these months. But if you tell yourself at this stage that this is manageable, the stuff is manageable, then the journey gets easier for you. The first thing would be to understand what CAT is. So if you're somebody who's uninitiated, who's not done much, I would advise you to look at the actual CAT papers first without even doing anything. You would say, I've not prepared anything. I would still advise you to look at the papers because at times, just because we have heard from people that something is difficult or something is unmanageable, we kind of tend to form perceptions like that. So I would not want you to do that. Just look at the paper yourself and decide for yourself if this is stuff that looks manageable. You would realize that in quant, for example, there is no such scary topic as such. Yes, the questions would be tougher than what you saw in school in that same arithmetic, but they would look familiar. They would look like, yes, this looks manageable, not something that's alien, right? So that would be the difference. Even algebra and all, they're basic. They don't test many higher level concepts. In LRDI, you would realize that these are the same puzzles that you've been doing for years, just that a little tougher. Little tougher means more than a little tougher, but stuff again that does not require too much in the form of prerequisites. You look at English, you would realize that there are reading comprehension passages not much different from the unseen passages that you used to do in school. The difference would be the level at which they appear now. So these are things on which you can build upon. If your basics are in place and you are okay with basic English, math, and reasoning, then what you need to do is learn to apply these concepts. How do you prepare for this? You break your preparation up into two, three parts. The first thing would be to start working on the concept. So the same arithmetic, that same algebra that you've studied probably already, you now need to do that a little more thoroughly and cover your concepts first in English, in maths, in LRDI, in everything. Start solving puzzles, smaller puzzles first, then middle level puzzles, then slightly tougher puzzles. Right? Start solving RC passages, read the passages slowly, fine, and then gradually you will try understanding them. So these are the things that you need to work upon, and a few basic things which would always help you in preparing for CAT would be things like make your in general reading a little more diversified. Read a lot, right? Newspapers, magazines, newspaper portals, whatever works for you. Just read a lot. Read from those topics in which you're not comfortable. So, for example, if you read something about sports, you would say, I generally am good. I can understand everything. But the moment I give you something from philosophy, you would say, no, I'm not very comfortable reading it. I took two, three attempts, two, three times I have to read it to understand the passage, right? So these are things like side, I'm saying the basics would still be the same. Fine, irrespective of whatever books, whatever teachers you refer to, The basic would still be the same. Make your reading diversified, read a lot, right? Start solving puzzles. It may be a Sudoku also. It would help you get comfortable with numbers, filling the grids and all. And so all these things are going to go a long way in helping you prepare for CAD. So along with the classes and all, along with the lectures, the exercise sheets and everything, do these things consciously. Start loving these things, reading, solving puzzles, getting comfortable with numbers. So they would make your preparation feel like something that you already do naturally in a way because you like doing it. I always tell people that whenever you are preparing for CAT, make your lifestyle such, make your routine such that CAT preparation does not feel like something additional, does not feel like a burden, but something that comes naturally to you, something that you actually enjoy doing. And then it's when you can actually keep doing it for a long time. Because you know what, in this preparation, short bursts of intensity is not going to work. So for example, I'm super motivated today because somebody told me that MBA is you know the gateway to a wonderful fabulous career, great salaries. And I just take up all the books and the portals and everything and work really hard for the next 1 week, and then I run out of gas. I don't feel like studying. I'm exhausted. So what would happen in that case? I would then probably my enthu would fizzle out, and I would not be putting in that kind of an effort. I would advise not to do anything like that. I would say, be disciplined. So if you're saying that my routine allows me only 6 hours for CAT preparation, I would say keep it 6 hours, make it disciplined, and 6 hours daily. If you can do more, wonderful, but no compromise on these 6 hours. That would be much more beneficial as compared to doing 12 hours 4 days and not studying for 12 hours or for 4 days, next 4 hours, nothing like that. So don't get burnt out. Like, so you just have to keep going, and to keep going you need a routine that may be boring, that may be monotonous, but that's sustainable, that would not break, fine, which you can keep following. And then this is going to help. One misconception that people have is that CAT requires a genius. No, there's nothing like that. You have to be disciplined, you have to work on your skill set, you have to identify your gaps, you have to consciously work on those gaps, you have to make sure that whatever weaknesses you possess in terms of skill sets and all, they are all taken care of, and then you can be good. So divide your preparation, like do your concepts first, the way I told you, then gradually get into test taking, starting with topic tests, a test of percentage and profit and loss, a small test of LRDI, some kind of puzzles like say games and tournaments puzzles, stuff like that. Then gradually get into revision and serious test taking mode. You start with concepts, then some test taking, and then finally getting into full length mocks and refining your final preparation. So this would be a step by step preparation. So don't jump into stuff at once. Looking at others, you would feel like others are taking mock tests in the month of May, I should also start doing that. No, probably they started early, they're repeating it. So things are different for different people. So don't look at anybody else and try and copy the method. Think for yourself what's going to work for me, looking at your current level, the routine, the number of hours your work routine allows you at this stage, your current preparedness, because people have natural ability as well, and then set realistic targets for yourself. So what I would suggest is that you look at your current level, and then when after 15 days or 4 weeks you look at yourself, don't compare yourself to your friend, to your neighbor, to your classmate. No, compare yourself to yourself, the 4 week older version of yourself. If you can say confidently that you are now better than what you were 4 weeks earlier, then you're on the right path. So things like that do happen. So don't look at others and say I'm not improving enough. Look at yourself and ask yourself, am I improving enough? Then that's going to work for you. And then there are other things, for example tests and all. When you get into serious test taking at a later stage in your prep, look at the mock test score, look at the percentiles, analyze them well, and ask yourself, if I'm improving. So if you used to get 80 percentile in your earlier tests and now you're getting a 90 or a 95, then you're definitely improving. So these things would tell you if you're improving or not. So cut down on the noise. Don't look at outside stuff and make perceptions about how good or how bad you are, and look at it objectively. This is where I was when I started. and this is where I am now. Compare the two and then adapt accordingly. So this is what CAT takes, and that's the reason why I said CAT is easy, because it's manageable, it's predictable to a large extent. Now, the content can be unpredictable. Obviously, you'll not get repeated questions, but you know that it will be LRDI, nothing else in there in the LRDI section. So that way it's predictable. You know it'll be 20 25 questions. It's not going to be 100 questions in the exam. That's why it's manageable. So start well and get into test taking, hone your test taking skills, get comfortable with the format of the exam, and it would start looking easy to you. If you are interested in Rodha's programs, we are starting an all English batch now. If you want our assistance in your CAT preparation, you can look at this batch. This is an all English batch, and will be there are people who are not very comfortable when it comes to Hindi or English. So, on popular demand, we have launched this batch. There will be four teachers: Ravi sir, Vapoor sir, Nikita ma'am, and I. We would be taking all these sessions in this batch, and there are subject-wise variants also available here. So, this is the complete batch. This is for quant, would be taken by Ravi sir and Poor sir, and VARC would be by Nikita ma'am, and I would take LRDI along with Apur sir. So these are the details. You can check further stuff on our website, and if you feel like, you can enroll for the batch. I wish you all the best for your preparation.